Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of General Geekery. Once again, we have absolutely nothing planned, so just sit back and enjoy the conversation.
Um, Hello everybody. You can see my six head going on here. Um, this is laying on the floor on my stomach watching TV. Is frequently or talking to Brian like this is frequently how I watch TV on my laptop. Something about my particular neurodivergence, I guess, but I'm comfortable like this. So I'm starting out like this, and at some point, everything will start to hurt, and I'll have to sit up, and then I'll sit up like crisscross applesauce style on the floor. And then I won't get up again because my knees won't work for the rest of the night. So it'll be fun. Um,
Yeah, I can relate. Unfortunately, my knees are pretty much shit. It's like Indiana Jones says, "It's not the year, it's the mileage."
yeah. Um,
And
and I,
let's everybody wish JD a happy birthday. His birthday was yesterday.
yes, it was yesterday. Emily sent me a text, said, I hope it was a good day. I wrote back, I'm like, I got older. We ate cake and I caught some Pokemon. Um, so
Right.
yes, it was a good day. But yep, I'm 63 yet again. Um, um, I okay, chronologically, I'm in my 40s, but in my head, anybody who's known me for more than two conversations, they know I'm 63 years old. Um, I'm basically old grumpy Luke on Octu, so I'm
Blue milk and all, or well, no, that was green milk, wasn't it? Milk from
yeah,
whatever that thing was. Yeah.
the Thala Siren. Yeah, that's what that was. Um, or colloquially known as the sea cows. Um, I I adore that movie. That's the Star Wars sequel that I absolutely love because here's my thing. I really like Force Awakens. I absolutely adore The Last Jedi, and I can sure watch The Rise of Skywalker. Um,
I liked Force Awakens. I enjoyed Force Awakens. I thought it was good. I thought it was kind of a new hope for the next generation, and really enjoyed it. And could not stomach the second one, and the third one was just a poor attempt to try and make up for the second one. I've seen those the
well,
second and third one time each, and that was plenty. And that's, I mean, as a huge Star Wars fan, that's saying something because I can't count the number of times I've seen the original trilogy.
well, I always used to say, no matter what, I doubt they'll ever make a Star Wars movie that I'll dislike, and they won't ever make one.
I was
I'm like,
wrong.
and what?
I said that too once, but I was wrong.
Yeah, but yeah, I'd say no, they're not gonna make one they outright dislike, and I don't even think they'll make one that I'm actually disappointed by.
Hmm.
And then the Rise of Skywalker came out, made a big fat liar out of me, and um, I have seen that movie a half a dozen times since, and no matter what, it comes down to there are parts of it I really like, but the vast majority of it was one giant ass disappointment. I I can't.
Go ahead.
Some of my issues with that movie I can't even articulate because there's just so much up on that screen that just should not have been there, or should have been there differently. I can't. They clearly wrote the movie in a hurry. Um, they didn't. It Watching that movie feels to me a lot like watching my attention deficit disorder up on the screen. Like they had 55 ideas for the movie and
Fails.
they couldn't pick just a few. So they just put them all into the movie and mashed it up. So all of the ideas, so none of the ideas went unused, and the whole movie suffered for it because nothing is lingered on until the final, and except maybe a few scenes with Kylo and Rey fighting, but otherwise that movie moves at such a frenetic pace that I'm just like, I can't. They didn't stop to linger on anything in that movie.
No, it's
Um, the whole thing flies by like a blur, and there's no time to process any of it. And it's sort of by
I
the
don't
time the movie's over, it's like I don't. They they just needed to sit down and just refine some of that stuff. It's such a mess.
yeah.
Um, nobody, none of the characters got a satisfying conclusion at all. Um, all the characters in somehow, some way got shafted, and I don't. The end scene drives me absolutely crazy. Um, and I just there's so much potential that that movie had that they
Well,
just didn't know what to do with it.
especially after the first one. I know a lot of people didn't even like The Force Awakens, but I liked The Force Awakens and was looking forward to the rest of them. But man, oh man,
Now, I mean, I love The Last Jedi. I love that movie. I have seen that movie many, 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 many times. I love that movie. It's somewhere in my top four Star Wars movies.
yeah.
There are things about that movie that I don't know. I love that movie on all kinds of different levels. But one of those things is that I have trouble seeing it as part of a trilogy. It's
Ah,
almost like in some ways I love it as a standalone movie. In some ways, there are things in that movie that I feel like would have been they would have been ambiguous endings, but I feel like some of those characters, if that had been the end of the Skywalker saga, I think it was more satisfying for some of those characters. Um, I just there's just so there's just so many things about that movie that I love, and so many things that I can't with the other movie. And then honestly, there were things about Rise of Skywalker that bugged me so much that they retroactively made me bothered by some of the stuff in Force Awakens. I just I don't know, I struggle with it.
to me,
But
it's like my Iron Man 3. I mean, it was completely written. It was written by it was done by somebody completely different that really wasn't following the program and did their own thing, and it really showed.
even well, dude, the weekend that movie came out in theaters, we did an hour and a half long podcast just ripping the movie apart. That to this day, while I do find the movie more watchable than I used to, having seen it numerous times now on different re-watches, sometimes with different people, I give the movie a lot more of a fair shake than I used to, but it's still one of my least favorite of the MCU, and it does still rank as one of the biggest disappointments because there was just so much about it that I felt like they could have done differently or better. And then I have to remind myself, no, it's a Shane Black movie, and every movie I've seen that he directs, I feel the same way. There's
Yeah.
always things that I'm just like, why? Why did he go that way? I don't. white. And then I see it in a Marvel movie, and I can appreciate some of the intentions, but you create 42 new Iron Man armors, deploy them all in a 3-minute long sequence at the end that's badly lit. We don't get a good view of any of the cool designs, and then you blow them all up with the house party protocol. You blow them all up. We barely got a look at more than like three of them, and they were all gone after that.
Yep.
What?
Yep.
What? Why? Completely baffling.
Yep.
And this is from somebody. I like the Mandarin twist, but I can't.
And I know why they did that.
Other
They filmed a significant portion of that in China, and they couldn't make the Mandarin be a Chinese villain like he is in the comic books because it would have insulted
right.
his country. I get that, but at the same time, then maybe Mandarin shouldn't have been the big bad in that movie. Then
Maybe that's a good point. But as somebody who, up until that movie, all I knew about the Mandarin was some of the early comics that I had read, where he was all kinds of different stereotypes, um, or from the '90s cartoon where he was green. Brian hates Green Mandarin,
I,
but that is where I knew him from first. So I have no particular feelings on the Mandarin going into that movie, but so I like the twist. It was disarming. It was ridiculous. I can understand why a lot of people hated it. I happen to have enjoyed it, but it was because it felt like it broke the movie. And that's good because that movie needed to be broken in the middle of it.
that movie was broken. Period.
Yeah, I can't. It was a mess. I mean, even Shang-Chi later, that movie came out and they basically wrote dialogue in there to explain
Why?
how they screwed up,
Yes.
and they framed it in universe, but it was definitely Marvel saying, "Here, we're going to give Trevor another chance because boy, did we go the wrong way with that one." Um,
And I like
so,
what they did in the Marvel one shot too. I thought that was pretty cool.
with the prison, the interview, yeah. Um, I like that, and I like that they reference that too in Shang-Chi. But I just, man, not every movie in the MCU is, even the early stuff. Not all of it's a classic, but man, like I said, I like Iron Man 3 better now than I used to, but that isn't saying anything because now it's no longer my least favorite Marvel movie, but it is still in my bottom four somewhere. So yeah, it's not good. Um, Ryan, what are you working on?
I am working on 3 customs at once, 4, but mainly.
Okay.
Currently, I am working on the Joker from the end of Suicide Squad. Uh,
Ooh, nice.
saw this head on eBay, and I'm like, I'd been wanting to do Joker in the SWAT gear from the end of the first Suicide Squad movie. I'm like one of the few people that liked Jared Leto as the Joker.
I like Jared Leto's Joker.
I thought he did a good job. I like the nod to oh god damn, I can't think of the artist's name that does the photorealistic covers.
Alex Ross.
Thank you, Alex Ross. Yes,
Yeah.
like the nod to the Alex Ross cover in the middle of it, and the last 30 seconds, the last minute and a half of Suicide Squad made the whole movie for me.
That's when he shoots his way into the prison, right? To
Yeah,
get Harley
Yeah.
Quinn.
Yep.
Um,
I've
I
I've always liked the Joker. He's probably my favorite DC villain. And I mean, I've liked him since watching Cesar Romero play him on the 60s TV show. I liked him in Killing Joke. Uh I've liked
I
the like alternate universe kind of stuff. And yeah, I liked Jared Leto's portrayal of him. I think that every actor has done a unique portrayal of the Joker, and I've enjoyed all of them. Although I haven't seen the last one with is that Joaquin Phoenix?
I haven't seen that one either yet. I mean, I probably will at some point. Not really in a hurry for it because everything I've read and everything I know about the movie, I'm just like, I'm never in the movie. I'm never in the mood to watch a movie that I know is going to depress me,
Right.
and I'm pretty sure that's gonna.
That's the
Um,
exact reason that I've skipped it the whole time. But anyway, I knew I had a really decent buck for the figure using a Joy Toy buck. It's pretty much just gonna be painted black with a little bit of dry brushing, some details, and some water slide decals that I'll do when I get finished. Most of it'll be the eye catching piece of it will be the head, obviously.
you're
Um,
doing the tattoos on the. You're doing the tattoo across his forehead.
I am considering it because it'll be a water slide decal, so it'll be really small.
Yeah,
I'm
that's
considering.
why I was wondering if you were going to attempt it.
I'm going to try, but it's hidden by the helmet. But he will obviously have a removable helmet. I've got his helmet and a gas mask set aside here somewhere. Yeah, I think this is his helmet. Well, the paint's drying, so we'll save that. But and then I finally got the Bruce Campbell head for my Ash Williams. Um,
Ooh, nice.
yeah, I'm working on that right now. I just need to paint the hair and do his eyes and detail it a little bit. Uh, and then that one, if you've followed my Facebook page, Bruce Campbell will be here in Colorado Springs Comic Con this summer. So I'm going to card that and get it autographed by Bruce Campbell.
Did
Uh,
you ever read his? Did you ever read Bruce Campbell's memoir that he wrote about his career playing Ash and in other B films? Um, I didn't read it. I got the audiobook, which is read by Bruce Campbell. Hysterical. That guy has so many stories about making movies that people saw and movies that people never got to see and the movies that him and Sam Raimi started making in junior high. You know, the car from the Evil Dead movies has appeared in every single one of Sam Raimi's movies. It's the car he used to drive back when he first learned to drive. Um,
I
and
did.
it's the same car. It's not a reproduction. It's the same car. Um, but Bruce Campbell tells about some of the misadventures in the car before they ever used it for filming and how bad they'd fuck it up every time they used it for an Evil Dead movie. But um, yeah, that's pretty hysterical. I highly recommend giving that a listen. Um,
Then I
he
got the soft goods
he
coat for my Connor McLeod. So that's just about little small, little tight, but I think it'll do.
I saw that movie once, about 20 years ago, maybe 15. I've only seen it once.
It's
I've
definitely
never seen the sequels. I'm not planning to watch the sequels.
and now the sequel. I never saw the third one, and the second one was just absolute horseshit, flaming garbage.
How many did they make?
Uh, three. I want to say there might have been a fourth one, but I don't remember. I stopped watching after the garbage dumpster fire that was the second one when it completely ruined all of the backstory. So, um, yeah. I mean, it was my one of my friends in high school. We watched that like almost every fucking weekend. And when they announced Highlander 2, we're like, oh, yeah, sweet. and we snuck in a bag of microwave popcorn and a 2 liter bottle of Mountain, and we were all set for this fucking awesome movie, Highlander 2. Fuck yeah, who knows what they're gonna do with it? Oh, we're gonna run it right into the ground. Yeah, I mean that ranks right up there with the second Independence Day as like.
Oh, damn. Hey, Brian, take a quick look at the screen. I've just realized that as long as part of my forehead is cut off, it's running into the Denver Bronco on your sweatshirt
See, it's side
and giving this weird. Oh, yeah. See, they're up and down for me. So
no,
I'll, uh, I'm
yeah,
gonna.
for me, it looks like you're the leader from the Hulk because your head doesn't stop at the top of the screen.
Well, that's because I, in fact, look like the leader from Hulk. Um, I do have they always call Charlie Brown blockhead. Yeah, I'm basically just all head. So, but I screenshot it so you can see what I'm looking at because it's yeah, your Bronco is the top of my head here. It's pretty funny. Um,
And then
um,
working on I've decided to do a video start to finish. So my next project I've bought the parts for it. Um, John Barenthal will be at Denver Comic Con this summer, and
what?
He was here once before, but I was deployed. Emily got a Marvel Legends figure autographed by him for me, but I am doing a custom John Barenthal Punisher. I have never done a Punisher custom that I've been happy with, and I've been putting off doing the Netflix Punisher for years because I've never done a Punisher custom that I've been happy with. So I am doing a video that will be. I did a video of me deciding what parts I'm going to use. I'm going to do a video of me doing the Photoshop of the card. So how I choose the art, how I assemble it in Photoshop. I'm going to do a video of me assembling the figure, of a video of painting the figure, a video of making the card, a video assembling the card and the figure, and as much videos I can shoot as they'll let me at the convention. I can't get a video of him signing it because Denver Comic Con is super, super hardcore about not filming or taking pictures around the celebrities. But I'll shoot something in line, I'll get it signed, and I'll do a video at the con after I get it signed. And then I'm planning on springing for the photo op this year too. So I'll get a picture of John Barenthal and myself with the carded custom. And that con is June 30th through July 1st, I think. So that's not something, and I'm not showing it until it's all done. So that will be a
Dude,
project.
that sounds awesome.
Yeah.
Like you're gonna chronicle your whole journey to the creative process. Wow, dude, that's pretty epic.
Yeah,
Um,
I had that idea recently after watching a bunch of creative content on YouTube about people um like people playing Pokemon because JD got me back into playing Pokemon Go. And so I've been watching these people like playing, the special events start to finish. And I'm like, it'd be kind of cool if I did one of my customs start to finish. So yeah, I've got part of it. I've got the part filmed of me picking the parts, picking and ordering the parts. I'm gonna film the uh me picking the stuff for the card and assembling the card probably tomorrow, I'm thinking. Or doing the Photoshop of the card tomorrow.
because Brian told me that he was gonna make the Netflix Punisher, so he could get John Barenthal to autograph it, and he told me he's never been happy with one he's tried to make, but I'm like, this definitely has well, for one, there's a much better reason for it because he's going to take it, present it, get it autographed, and let the actor see the work he put into it, like he's done with so many other customs. Because the person signing it, they're always impressed,
Yeah.
and so I'm sure he'll get to appreciate that. Plus, the guy, as I understand it, and what the interviews I've seen, he's one of the most personable guys
Oh,
in like
Emily said he
Hollywood.
was,
Like,
yeah, Emily said he was great to talk to. Yeah, he said he was
yeah,
fantastic.
everything I've seen the guy do, like interview, like Hot Ones, that hot wings eating, conversation that I've seen with him, the dude is awesome. So he's gonna go crazy. I feel like he's gonna go crazy for that custom. So
Because I
yeah,
mean,
I know you're gonna be happy with this version. Plus, Sons of Anarchy, Agent Coulson, all those people go crazy for those.
yeah, Clark Gregg
So
thought it was great when I did my Agent Coulson. I set it down. He's like, "Where did you get that?" And I said, "I made that." And he says, "Oh, well, that's why I haven't seen it before." So, I mean,
um
he thought it was production. So, and then yeah, Charlie Hunnam was really impressed with my Sons of Anarchy custom, and um um the Ninth Doctor. Um, man, my brain is not working.
Christopher Eccleston, yeah.
Eccleston was super impressed as well when I showed him my Ninth Doctor, and was very happy with the fact that I gave him a decently sculpted body for the figure. Like he says, it looks like he gave me some decent pecs there. I appreciate that. I wasn't there when Carl Weathers autographed my Dylan from Predator custom. I had Emily do that because I was in Ukraine at the time. And then Patrick Warburton just went crazy for my Brock Sampson figure. He said that's the coolest thing I've ever seen. I need a picture of that. So yeah, he took a picture of me and the custom. So
No, that's cool.
yeah,
I I think, yeah, I think, well, I twice now I've been to Brian's house and thought about stealing the Colson custom twice. I actually did it as a prank one day. I moved it off the wall and put it near the bag, and I told Emily that I did this just to see if you'd notice at some point when you come back down. You didn't. So
I mean,
after
look,
like 2 hours,
got over
I
three.
just I didn't say anything. I just put it back on the wall, seeing if he'd notice me putting it back on the wall, and he didn't
Mentioned.
until I called attention to myself. So I'm like, dude, I totally could have taken that.
Yeah,
Um,
got over 300 customs on the wall. It's hard to know one missing.
yeah, but with some of those customs, I feel like you'd have like a sonar that certain ones have been have been ganked by your friend that's staying in the other room. So
No.
I Joker's one of my favorite comic book villains, and I agree with Brian. I think I like every take of the Joker I've ever seen. Like different actors, different interpretations. Maybe there's a few exceptions, but yeah, I like Jared Leto's Joker.
Dude,
I like the Jokers that everybody plays as long as they're different versions of the Jokers. I never want to see another actor just trying
do it.
to imitate another one's performance.
That's what I liked
And we'd
about.
really never seen mobster, gangster, Joker before that. And living like that, yeah, okay, went a little nuts. I don't really understand all the hate, but um, as soon without even knowing that you were making a Jared Leto Joker, I would have guessed that that's probably what it was because the facial, face sculpt is good, and your paint you captured totally. So,
Yeah, hopefully. Uh, Unfortunately, my our buddy stuntman Fred has already used the head and done a fantastic job of it. If you haven't followed this guy on Facebook, man, his paint work is insane. I tried to get him on the show, but he doesn't want to come on. But yeah,
Some people just they don't want to talk to a camera. Um, I get it.
same because I
So
definitely
are
want
you saying that his custom inspired you to do your own custom, or
no,
you're saying
I went
you
back and
don't think your custom's going to compare to it?
a little bit of a little bit of column B. I noticed that
Ah,
he'd used the head recently when I was going back and looking at some of his stuff. I wanted to see because he had done a bunch of Punisher customs too, so I wanted to see what vest that he used for his John Barenthal custom. When I couldn't place it, I PM'd him and asked him where he got it, and he put me in touch with an eBay seller that he got it from, and but it was sold out. And Fred was like, PM the guy because he's really responsive and a really good dude. So I did, and I got a PM back in like less than half an hour, saying that
nice.
that he would put it up back in stock and make one for me and get it sent out as quick as he could. So and I've put a shout out to both of them on my Facebook page. So yeah, if you're and that's where some of the heads that he's that Fred has used is from that guy, and I bought 3 heads from him as well, and I don't remember which ones I bought because I bought a bunch of heads recently for customs that I've got planned. I won't let the cat out of the bag on those just yet, but I did buy some extra heads just for to say thank you for taking the time to put the vest back in stock for me. Um, but I've got a shout out on my Facebook page. So yeah, if you're looking for custom parts, check out this guy on eBay. And I saw that that he's acknowledged the order and he's getting it ready. So it seems to be fairly quick too, which is nice because some customized some places, they take forever to get casts and molds out. And one particular person, I'm 2 years into waiting for a piece that clearly I'm never going to get.
Wow.
Yeah. And it was
Um,
from someone I considered a friend too. So not too happy about that, but
I can imagine. Yeah, see, I never get hung up on the waits for things like the pre-orders and stuff, but I'm gonna guess that a year and a half ago, you would have already forgotten what you were gonna use those parts for that you ordered from him.
didn't
So
actually.
even if you were to get them, you wouldn't even know what to do with them
I
now.
did. I didn't actually because I had to.
Oh,
I had something completely planned out around around the head, and
oh, that sucks. All right,
yeah,
so it wasn't
luckily,
just they weren't just run of the mill customs. Okay.
no, my female Toxo zombie. I was buying the a cast of the Joe Con Toxo zombie head with a cracked faceplate. So
Oh yeah, okay.
I was buying a cast of that to have it as the masked head for my female Toxo zombie. And yeah, after a year of waiting, I ended up buying a cast from somebody else and finishing the figure. And that was one of the figures that I did last year. And I was really happy with how that paintwork turned out. That really turned out nice. Um, and the other piece I ordered was a Punisher vest, ironically enough. So, but yeah, oh well. What are you working on right now?
Um, oh, I'm picking away at a few customs, but I don't even know if some of them count as customs because you know me, I like to make tweaks and fixes to all of my figures. So it's just a lot of nitpicking. Um, um, my Tiger Force Recondo is a good figure, and I like it just the way it is. And the backpack was fine too, but um, the other day on Facebook, I saw some of the True Grit customs.
Yes, I saw that.
posted the backpack that he had added the handle to, like the classic Ricondo. And I made a response. I'm like, dude, I hadn't even scrutinized that part yet. And now that I've seen that, I'm like, I'm not going to be able to unsee it. So next up, I'm going to be adding the handle to New Roadblocks backpack because there's that's never going to not bother me now.
I am skipping the Tiger Force Recondo, but I will pick up the original paint scheme when it comes out. That was definitely one of real high up on favorites list. I can't ever say that this was my favorite figure as a kid because I had so many favorites, but Recondo was definitely on the list of my top of favorite Joes. So I will pick up the Recondo, the
and
regular.
see, for me, Tiger Force Ricondo is what got me on board with the character. I had the first Ricondo, but I'm younger than Ryan, and at the time that I got it, he wasn't. He may not have been as interesting to me as some of the other figures. So, but when I got the Tiger Fly for Christmas that year with Ricondo, when I opened it and I realized that it was Ricondo, and it was the same guy, but in more, not better, but more for me, eye catching colors. And I just, it, I don't know why, but for some reason, the blue slouch hat just worked for me. I don't know why, but I'm like, it's interesting. And so I kind of came around on the Recondo after that. But unfortunately, because those figures were made elsewhere outside the US, Tiger Force Wakando's thumbs are even more brittle than most of the vintage figures. So I don't think mine had thumbs for all that long. And then after that, it sort of limited the use the guys could get because, yeah, they could still, if they had one thumb, at least they could hold something. But if they didn't have any thumbs, it was more natural to leave them behind because it's like, well, if the thumbs broke, the rest of the figure is going to break too at some point. So,
Well, and that weapon that came with Recondo had a big old handle on it.
yeah. So,
I
and
remember stressing the thumb joint on mine. I don't think I ever broke mine, but I remember it being stressed.
yeah, the Tiger Force arms are definitely more brittle. I don't even if you go looking for it on eBay, most of the figures they've got broken thumbs because if they're played with or used,
Yeah.
yeah, they were pretty much gonna break. So but I love that and even if I didn't like the original, honestly, this Recondo, I love the face sculpt. I like the look of him. Um so but yeah, I'm gonna have to add the backpack. I'm well, hang on. Let me show you one of the things I am
Okay.
working. All right. I want to talk about.
You got to talk into the phone, man. You got to
Yeah, I
like
know.
parabolic mic.
Um,
I swear.
yeah, I know. No, you know what? I will show you one of the things that I'm working on. All right. So tweaks and fixes. Um, back in May. No, back last summer. Remember the Lightyear movie that came out? Well,
Yeah.
the toy line Mattel made a couple of a 2-pack of 6-inch scale Buzz Lightyear figures, and it was on clearance. I bought it for the Buzz Lightyear, which I still haven't used for anything yet, but it also included um, Buzz Lightyear's friend, or um, um, yeah, his no, his Space Command battle buddy. Well, the figure straight out of the box because they're done like the CGI figures where they're more realistic, but they're still exaggerated. But the rest of the figure is really good. It good comparison to the classified type stuff, but had a ginormous head.
Right.
So I took a Power Ranger, I sculpted the hair, and I made it,
Oh, nice.
yeah, more realistic and better proportioned.
Oh, yeah, look at that.
So, um, so the character, I'll integrate her into my universe, and she's just more serious. And at some point, I'll find a use for Buzz Lightyear. It's ironic that I haven't done anything with him yet, but the other figure
Looks
was so
like she
good.
could be like a background character at a like the meeting of the rebels before the Battle of Endor.
Yes. Um. Yes, that's true. I a lot of times when characters start to get introduced into my universe, it takes a little while for me to kind of work them in. Um, but I'm always taking inspiration and ideas from stuff, and I like taking people's ideas. So do me a favor, Ryan, restate that clearly so I can make a better mental note of it because I
Sure.
like that idea.
So at the after Han and Leia and Luke escaped from Jabba the Hutt, they everybody met up at on what I assume was some sort of space station somewhere, where Mon Mothma gave the briefing of the attack on the second Death Star. And it's in this big white circular room. And if you look around, there's all kinds of like I won't say like dignitaries, but kind of like dignitaries, people like formally dressed, um, clearly representing whatever planet they were representing that was part of the Rebel Alliance. And that kind of uniform that she's wearing looks like she would be like one of the background characters at that meeting where Mon Mothma gives the briefing before they attack before the Battle of Endor.
Yeah. Um. So that scene, it's the Mon Calamari cruiser, Home One, and
Ah,
Brian's right. There's rebels from all different factions and different groups and different planets represented, and some of them are wearing military gear and some of them aren't.
right.
But the ones that are, they're just wearing one of the many variations on the Rebel Alliance military uniforms. And you're right, she could be an officer in a space organization. Huh. Yeah, that's a good point. Um, I just the rest of the figure was so good. I just could not use her. Well, along the same lines, I I've never watched Dragon Ball Z. Okay, I'm aware of it, but I've never watched it. But last week or the week before, or a few weeks ago on Amazon, there was a Dragon Ball Z figure that came up in my list of recommendations, and it didn't look like a Dragon Ball Z character I've ever seen. He looks like another space like officer type guy. He's a little anime, a little cartoony,
All right.
but the same kind of idea. Well, the real cartoony face, that's not working.
No, and to me that looks more like I would say like a representative of the separatists.
Yeah, but fictional space organization, one or the other. I mean, I'll find a use for it, but I took a Yanrog head from the Captain Marvel line and I'm painting it to look like a slightly more realistic version.
All right.
So yeah, the body still needs some detailing, but I haven't figured that out yet. But that's basically what I'm doing, making tweaks to
Gotcha.
figures that I'm gonna have in my collection, but they're
Quite.
just not quite right. So I'm
Yeah.
fixing them as per usual.
Gotcha. Drinking Mountain Dew there?
What's that?
Drinking some Mountain Dew there?
No, Diet Pepsi. Um, I what happened? Brian's referencing the other day. I made a post on Facebook where I took a picture of the label for the Mountain Dew Pitch Black, which is back in stores for like some limited time frame. So I bought a bunch of it, but it has the unfortunate side effect because whatever dyes are in there that turn it that color, that it turns my poop green, like like Brian's sweatshirt right now, green. And so I made a post that said it turns my poop green, to which Brian made a response that it was completely in jest and he was just being snarky as usual. But the particular thing he said,
I said it. I said, don't worry about it. It's probably just liver failure.
and that particular response at that moment must not have sat right with me because it resulted in me taking the post down and calling Brian for reassurance that that was a joke. Um, that it hadn't set off some kind of weird paranoia. And yeah, he assured me that it wasn't anything to worry about, that he was just joking. But I told him people with real world medical knowledge sometimes can't make jokes with those of us who are completely ignorant.
Well, it seemed like a good idea at the time.
Yeah, because we start getting paranoid. Um,
Serious. Yeah,
I
no,
am not I am not a hypochondriac in any way, and I don't usually get paranoid about that stuff. But I also know that Ryan's biggest pet peeve in the entire world, or the entire medical world, is WebMD.
yes.
He hates how often people go on there and convince themselves that,
We have
you know,
cancer.
that they've definitely got these problems. But so I don't use WebMD, but that's because I know that if I had any hypochondriac tendencies, I would end up being one of those WebMD people. But yeah, I'm not. But so sometimes when I hear jokes, I'm like, is this something I should be worried about? Oh no. Um. So that was amusing. Um.
Yeah, I
But
was
no.
laying in my bunk at work, and I get this text from JD. He's like, "Are you serious?" I'm like, "No, of course not." And then, like 30 seconds later, my phone rings, and he's like,
I'm like, are you? You.
"Serious?" I'm like, "No, I was not serious."
Um. I don't know. I guess it was
It was just me, I mean, it's just me saying something that, nobody takes me
right.
seriously. So I'm like, what's I was completely surprised that you called.
Well, usually you're making some kind of medical diagnosis joke like that. Usually, I know I can pretty much decode when you're just being a smartass, or um, when you're actually giving out some sort of information, but in a way so that it doesn't seem so worrisome. But in this case, I was just like, wait, what tone was his voice when he typed that?
Oh,
Um,
deadpan serious, guarantee you.
um,
Deadpan serious. If I'd have said that to you on the podcast, yeah, you still would have freaked out.
uh-huh. Yeah, because now, okay, just for giggles, I want you to deliver that news deadpan serious.
So yeah, you told me that you put up the post saying that your Mountain Dew had turned your excrement black or green.
Yes.
It's nothing to worry about. It's probably just liver failure.
What?
Yeah, it's just liver failure. I mean, when you key blood that's, it's rhabdomyolysis. That's where the red blood cells break down. And you,
I have not pooped anything red or
no, but I'm saying when you get like red urine, that's what that is. So when it turns green and
ah
comes out in your feces, that's, yeah, it's just the liver breaking down red blood cells
ah.
and you're just getting rid of it. So but
So
it's working
I
right. And
need to call a doctor tomorrow. Apparently,
liver,
um,
just liver failure. It's just bile. The liver's got nowhere else to put it, so it puts it into your feces.
awesome.
It's trying to make
So
it before it poisons you and kills you, which
I was gonna
probably,
say I know my liver's pretty important, so I should probably get something done about this.
yeah, probably. At least on the transplant list, because transplant list for the liver. I mean that's
God damn it!
wild.
All right, I broke. I couldn't. I couldn't. Damn. Well, Brian won that staring contest.
Oh,
Um, tell me though, did I hold out longer than you expected me to?
yeah. Yes. Yeah. Yeah, I think so.
That
But yeah,
um,
it was about midnight my time, and I was up anyway. So, and then I get a text from JD. You should put that on the show. Is this JD did a nice Cobra sigil on lined paper, like a good little fifth grader, and I told him that you should put it on the refrigerator.
okay. Firstly, shut up. I'm not an artist. Secondly, I used to draw, but I haven't really drawn much of anything in years. But my son had this drawing paper out. No, it's not drawing paper, it's line paper, but we were using it to draw on. And everything I was trying to draw, he was telling me I was drawing it wrong. I'm drawing it differently, but I'm drawing it wrong. All right. So I said, well, all right, you know what? On this page, we're just going to draw whatever we want to draw. It's a free draw. And so I decided I'm going to try to freehand draw the Cobra sigil from memory because I was too lazy to get up and try to find a figure that was probably 4 feet away from me with a Cobra sigil on it.
Yeah,
So
yeah, no, that needs to go on the fridge, man.
yeah, so
I
I sketch
you need
it.
to send it to me. Send it to me, and I'll put it on the fridge next to Aurella's drawing that we have on our fridge.
Ass
I'm not
hole.
kidding. We have a drawing that Aurella did for us on.
No, I know you've got my child's drawing on the fridge, but I'm saying asshole about putting mine next to that.
Emily would be
Um,
put it up there. I can guarantee you. She'd be so proud of you.
wait, who
Em-
would?
Emily.
Yeah, because
She'd put it up there. I'm not kidding, man. She'd be like, "Oh yeah, look at JD did this. I'll buy
no,
you."
I thought I your sound cut out as you said Emily, and I just heard she'd be proud to put it on the fridge, and I thought, is he talking about his mother?
Too. I bet you send it to my
Who's
mom.
my second mom?
Yeah,
But
she'll put it on the fridge too. I guarantee you.
so when you said it was Emily, I was actually quite surprised. Because I'm basically the lost grandchild for Brian's mother, but she looks at me more affectionately than I'm pretty sure Emily does. I thought maybe she'd set it on fire.
Emily put it
Um,
on the fridge.
but yeah, so having never drawn it and from memory, I have a new appreciation for the design that Ron Rudat did. And I have determined that either I should cease drawing immediately so I don't continue contributing to this, or I should keep working on it so I can get better and never have to see that again.
You need
Um,
crayons to color it in.
no, I have colored pencils around. Shut up. Um, um, thank you for the moral support. With tact like that, you'd make a lousy psychiatrist.
I know. That's why I don't do that. It's because he texted me this picture and it was like, I don't know, it's like 1 o'clock my time, 1 or 2 in the morning. And I was working on my trip sheet for a call that we had just run, car versus moose.
Oh, bet that didn't go well.
Oh, the
Um,
moose did not. Yeah, the kids in the car were fine, but the moose moose and squirrel no more.
Wait, the people in the car were okay though.
Yeah.
Wait, you didn't have to treat the moose at the scene, did you?
No, the police did that for us
Because I was gonna say I don't know if you have any
5
veterinary
times. They
skills.
they they gave him um dose of lead to help the pain.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, that kind of helped. Okay. Um,
They had to get a flatbed tow truck to get the moose out of the highway.
well, anybody who's ever been close, even remotely close to a moose, then you've seen them. But if you haven't, if you've only maybe, I don't know, seen them on TV, seen them online, it really takes being within proximity to those to truly appreciate how massive they are. They're like deer, but they're twice as tall. Their heads are twice the size, and those antler racks are bigger than most white teal deer would be
Yeah.
total. So a car hitting a moose, man, it's a wonder that people in the car were okay. Like,
Yeah, luckily they weren't going that fast. And when you hit a moose, basically you clip the legs and it throws it onto the top of your car. So it collapsed the roof of that car though.
I I would imagine. Um, man, good thing that's all because if they'd like hit it head on and it had actually like not flown up, if it had actually managed to get that would have been ugly.
Yeah, we had
Um,
this last year where it was a lower car and clipped the legs and put it right into the windshield. So
did
yeah.
did that one work out as well as this one did?
Actually it did. That guy wasn't hurt either, but the moose
I'm
was.
shocked. Wow.
Yeah,
Um,
I was too. So that's the
so
fun joys of being a paramedic in a small mountain town.
yeah. Um, so I texted him a picture of my fifth grade drawing apparently, and I had no idea that I bet if I turned it upside down, it would be no better as the Cobra sigil than a moose. Um,
But yeah, I was up and working when you texted. That's why I was so responsive.
I'm pretty sure that was the unfortunate night that I took a nap at 8:30 and woke up at um 9:45, and that was it. I was insomniac for hours after that. So and the drawing had been done before that, but I just finally got in the picture. I'm like, let's just put it out there in the universe. And now that I have, thankfully, we only have 16 listeners, so
Hey,
very few people are actually going to see that, and thank God. Because now I want to set fire to it. But
like you're saying, man, send it out here. We'll put it on the fridge for you.
um,
Immortalize it forever.
yeah, it needs not be immortalized. Um, but yeah, so that's what I tried to do. I'm like, yeah, this is what I get for trying to go back to drawing because yeah, I'm probably not going to keep doing that.
I don't remember the last time I did drawings. I did some drawings for Emily when we were dating and first married, but I've got a couple of them framed. But yeah, I haven't done anything in oof, yeah, almost 20 years now. I'll bet. Yeah, because we were. I did a one of the poison arrow frogs, the blue with the black spots. I drew one of those and did it ink and then color pencil. And
oh, I think I remember seeing that when I was there.
yeah, so
Uh,
it's in the master bedroom. So, and then I did a monarch butterfly for but yeah, those are the last things I drew. And that was shortly after we were married, I'll bet. Because it was before I went to Afghanistan. So that would have been 2006, I'll bet.
Yeah, my firstborn child was an artist. They draw a lot of digital drawing. Um, the kid learned to draw using those drawing programs on the phone. So that's usually where most of their art's done. Um, the drawing that they did that Brian and Emily have on their fridge was done years ago. And while I was out in Colorado the first time, I took a picture of it and I texted the picture to my child back home, to which I got a very oh my god, that is so embarrassing, and then a bunch of random characters after that basically told me what the rest of the words that they were using were. So I'm like, ah, so we're not appreciative of seeing their early art. um
It's
um
on the fridge. It's still up there.
the drawing that they did for me for Christmas 2019, um they I told them to design a character, and it's like a kitsune, like a fox
Right.
sitting on a crescent moon, and I love it, and it's framed,
Man,
and it went into work with me and sat on my desk in the frame, or hung up on the wall of my cubicle in um in my office right after that. But then when they sent everybody home to work for a few weeks, to work from home for a few weeks, they said just put everything in your desk that you're not taking, and then once we come back to the office, you can put it back out again. Well, last year I finally got a chance to get out to the office to go pick it up, um, because I wanted it in my home office since we're staying home. So now it's up on the wall,
oh, that's
and
good.
I
I was afraid you were going to say that they threw everybody's stuff away.
no, they left everything in the drawers right where we'd left it. Like there was stuff in those drawers, like toys and stuff I had brought to work that I didn't even remember having, let alone having brought it to work. But
Oh, I bet
um,
treasure chest.
yeah, there was a bunch of stuff in there. But they um like figures that I had been looking for around the house. I mean, where are those? Oh, they were in my office the whole, but I didn't know. But I
Right.
had to go over there for some brief training last year because they were only taking a few people at a time for a couple of weeks. So I got a chance to get all that stuff out of there, including that art, and I still love that art. It's hanging up right next to where my desk is. But yeah, my child won't even look at it because now it's only a couple of years old, and they still don't like it. They're like, I could redraw that for you. And I'm like, no, thank you. I happen to love it just as it is. And they said, well, I could do a better job, and you don't have to replace. I'm like, no, you're free to draw another version of it if you want to, but yeah, it's not going to take away from my appreciation of this one. So,
I
um,
think every artist is like that. I mean, I've been spending the last couple of years going back and carting all my old customs that I had done, and I came across a tub of customs that I had completely forgotten about. That while I was looking for something else, I was looking for a coat for Highlander, because I had done a Highlander custom years ago and had a soft goods coat for it. So I figured I could just pull it off of that shitty custom and reuse it. But turns out I did that for a commission, so I didn't have it, but I found the tub where I thought it was. And yeah, some of those figures that are in there, man.
creative people, artists, we are always our own worst critics. Um, I mean,
Yeah,
honestly,
and I'm like, I remember people thinking this was hot shit, and this man, it's hot garbage.
um,
That's awesome, and it's like, Yeah, no, not really. Not when you look back at it.
I don't know. Every once in a while, I'll look through some of my old customs that I have that in no way have I managed to lose track of, and some of them still kind of hold up. Some of them, I'm like, I don't know what I was thinking with that one, but I like the results of it. And then some of them I look at and I'm just like, I don't know how this was good enough back then. Like, how did I find this acceptable then? Now I should be burned as a heretic. This thing is so bad now. So, um,
I pulled one out. I don't remember what it was, and I was looking at the paint job. I'm like, I don't even know how I did that. I'm like, I literally have no idea how I did this paint job because it's not a technique that I currently use, and I don't know that I could reproduce it if I tried. I'm like, I don't.
I was gonna say, is that you don't know how you did that because you like the results, or you don't know how you did that because
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. No,
So
I pulled something out. I'm like, that is actually a decent paint job, and I have no idea how I got the results on that because that's using the techniques that I use now. I don't know how I would have done that.
um I that's funny because when I was going through um when I was going through looking for accessories and stuff that I could use for that figure you challenged me to, I was looking at some of my other O-ring customs, and some of them I'm like, yeah, that's badass. I did a good job. And some of them I'm just like, I can't tell if that was finished or not, but if it was finished, that's unacceptable. And if it wasn't finished, well, I'm not about to go back and finish it now. So, um, but then there were a few that I'd pull out. And I'm like, yeah, you know what? Yeah, this is cool. I could still see the choices I made. I'm like, you know what? Yeah, I'd probably still do that now, like that. But one of the discoveries I made is that um, I can't paint camel. I mean, I was never hugely great at painting camouflage.
Yeah, we were talking about
Um,
this too long ago about stuff that we did back then that we can't do now. I can't paint digital camouflage for shit anymore, man.
and see, that's funny because I don't know, 11 or 12 years ago when you were visiting here, you taught me how to draw, how to paint digital camo, and now you can't do it. I can still do it, but I'm not particularly happy with it. But it's kind of ironic that you can't paint it at all anymore. And I was when I put this figure together, I deliberately went for kind of a simplified, like one color camo, like a lot of the vintage GI Joes had, because I wanted it to fit in with them.
Fair.
And thank God, because I don't think I could have done anything more complicated. I mean, it's all right. It turned out okay,
Yeah,
but
no, I like it.
but I'm glad that it was simplified. But yeah, for anybody who didn't see the custom on Facebook, um, the background for this is Brian made a flying scorpion, um, which was a Brazil release character in the 90s from the Brazil GI Joe line, the Strela.
That
Well,
that's the custom right there.
yes, that's the custom that Brian made out of the parts, because the original figure was a unique repaint that was done in Brazil of a new character,
With old part.
and they it used parts from Cesspool, Recoil, and Scoop. And Brian ordered all those figures to use the parts to recreate that figure. And he told me before that figure was even done, after I get the parts, I'm going to send you all the leftover pieces because I'm challenging you to make a custom of whatever pieces that come
Whatever
from
had
those
left
three
over.
figures. So that's what I did. I had the arms from Scoop, the torso from Cesspool, Recoil's waist and upper legs and Cesspool's lower legs, resculpted a little bit. But originally, I was trying to use Cesspool's thighs because it had that like keypad thing, that piece of technology on the leg. But as soon as I took the legs apart, of course, that peg for the knee joints snapped right off on both legs.
Oh,
And because um and so I had to Dremel through because the post was stuck. So I had to Dremel a new peg hole. So I had to make him fit the recoil, uh the cesspool lower feet. Um because originally I was going to use recoils boots, but I had to reverse it. So yeah, I don't know. He came out okay.
one of the things I really like about that custom is the head because you use the recoil head, and that
Yeah,
is fucking hard head to use to repurpose and not have it look like recoil.
recoil. So the only thing I really needed to keep was the sunglasses because they're part of his sculpt. So I dremeled off his hard hat or whatever that helmet is, and I sculpted the beard. And okay, originally I sculpted a ponytail, but when I took the pictures, the ponytail snapped off after I got the pictures. Not what, not before I got, thankfully. But yeah, I gotta fix it. I gotta put a new ponytail on. But I had to find a way to just because Recoil's head sculpt is pretty distinctive,
Absolutely.
and like even when they reused Recoil's head in Brazil, they on a character called Tigor,
Sticking in that figure.
it's still just Recoil. He's got a distinct, but I wanted him to make like a Cobra mercenary, like a jungle ops sort of special forces, Spetsnaz, type of some kind of they're kind of sub-Saharan military, paramilitary group, and a mercenary for Cobra. So, and well, I wrote his birthplace to be Johannesburg, South Africa, because it was a nod to the guys at GI Joeberg, and but I was trying to go for like a Cobra equivalent to one of the Marines or like an opposite on the team, or a guy to fight Outback or somebody. So yeah, I think it worked okay, but that that I glued some pockets on and I did a little bit of sculpting just to mostly disguise the obvious cesspool torso. Um, because the Cobra sigil is amazing and needed to be there, but the rest of that was pretty identifiable. So I just had to make some changes to it. The hat is a reference to Pokemon Go since Brian plays it now too. Um, um, I'll have him drop a picture in here to as reference to show the hat inside that game that the trainers can wear
I
with
don't
the
know.
yellow stripe.
Oh,
Huh?
you sent it to me. I'll have to find it.
Yeah, yeah. So I said if you wondered what I texted him, I'm like, if you wondered why his hat was painted that way, send him the picture. But I wouldn't have done it like that, except that a few months ago he started playing Pokemon Go again, so I could actually make the connection with it.
Yeah,
But
makes it right away. And when you sent me that work in progress picture of the head, I didn't even realize that was Recoil's head either.
yeah, I'm pretty happy with it. He's one of those characters that I think I actually like it. I mean, I like the custom as it is. I've looked at it, I've scrutinized it. I'm like, man, I don't hate anything about this custom. Like, I like how all of these parts came out. I'm like, I can't even nitpick it. I don't think I'm gonna look back on this one and say, wow, what the fuck was I thinking? But so it's not often I get that way with the custom, but I think I like this character that I created enough that I think he might be the second one of my own characters that I might make a classified version of it.
Ah, all right.
Um, I mean,
Would you?
I've created lots of Joe characters over the years, some of whom get customs and put out in the real world, and some just they stay locked in here. But I don't. Um, but there was one that I created last year. She was a she was a member of the Indian military, and she's basically tasked to GI Joe. But
Chantilly lace.
yeah, yeah,
Oh,
her code name is Chantilly Lace, and she was one that I made out of Marauder parts last year. Um, no, at the beginning of 2020.
it's been a while.
No, you know what? It was the very beginning of last year. But along with like six or seven other characters, most of whom got Marauder parts, not all of them. But yeah, the rest of them were all cool customs, but there was something about that character that kept sitting with me. So I turned around and I made a classified custom of her. And but I don't do that very often. Take my own characters and reinterpret them into another format of Joes. Usually, if a custom gets made in a specific era or with specific parts, the character might go on existing in my head, but it's not very often that I feel the need to create another custom or an update. But
I
yeah, I think this guy,
think I've only done that with one figure myself. That was one of my seals that I made.
yeah, I'm thinking this guy is going to get a classified custom at some point. Um, yeah, that seal you're talking about, is that one of the ones you did with like new sculpt parts and then you went back and made modern parts?
Yeah, I did a
Um,
helicopter sniper that I really liked in O-ring parts, and then I did. I think I did actually ended up making three versions of that. Um, I think it's in my box set. I would have to look. I'm either in my box set or I did end up carding that one. Oh, I thought Alice was down here. She must have gone back upstairs. Let me see. Yeah, I got it right here, actually.
I'm curious which character it is.
This is actually the third version of that I've done.
Oh wow. Oh yeah, okay. I remember that. So, but first time he's been on a card because first time you made one since you were making cards.
No, the I think the second version is actually in the box set.
Oh, is it? Okay.
I'm not sure now. I gotta look. Uh, no. No, the second version is not in this box set.
It's around somewhere.
Yeah, no, so yeah, that's I know I've made three versions of that, and that's the third version on the card. So I have no idea where that O-ring. The O-ring one got stripped down for parts years and years ago. But
As usually happens with the customs that you're particularly unhappy with, they get recycled.
the
Um,
second version I did using DTC barrel roll parts.
well, good choice on that. Um,
That lent itself so well to so many seal customs back in the day.
I remember. I Brian Brian made so many seal customs early in our friendship. Like when we, like I want to say when we were still just messaging before we were actually friends, and he made so many seal customs, and they all looked like expert level to me. I sent him a message. I'm like, "Were you actually a seal? Did you go through seal training or?" And he's like, "No." He's like, "I tried Navy basic training, that didn't work." And I'm like, "So you're really just fascinated by seals?" Okay. Um, because his customs even then had a grit and a level of realism to them that I'm like, yeah, that looks like legitimate SEAL stuff. This guy's gotta have firsthand knowledge. No,
Not quite.
he didn't, but he he fooled me. Um,
Then I'm working on a female decimator. I'm missing her hand.
ah,
So it's the character from Andor. And I swapped out the forearms for some Marauder, and I got a hand floating around somewhere that I need to put in. So she's missing a hand, and I'm still trying to figure out which what helmet I want to use. I'm probably gonna use like a Joy Toy helmet.
um, about 6 months ago, Brian sent me a text message right after Hasbro put out, because Hasbro does a stupid pre-order thing where they publish pictures and then you can pre-order the shit, and it's got some ridiculous date further off in the future as the estimated availability due to the way things are in the world. Well, about 6 months ago, right after and while Andor was still in progress on Disney Plus, Brian sent me
Is that JD?
one of the Hasbro revealed that one of the figures they were going to make, hi Alice, hi puppy, um, was this particular character from Andor. She was going to have like a jacket on, and Brian sent me a screenshot of it, and he's like, "When this comes out, female decimator custom." I'm like, "Sweet, perfect," because the leather jacket is iconic to the decimator. So,
And the nice thing about this is, I mean, the figure is absolutely tiny. I mean, compared to, let's put it up next to a Joy Toy figure. I mean, it's 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 super.
wow, yeah, she's slight in stature.
But
Um,
the best thing about that is it will fit in the hammerhead now.
oh yeah, oh definitely.
I had a whole bunch of 25th anniversary eels because Big Bad Toy Store had a special on them years and years ago trying to clear them out. So I bought like 10 of them at one time. And I was going to staff my hammerhead with 25th anniversary eels, but they don't fit in any vehicle, any part of the hammerhead. They don't fit in the cockpit. They don't fit in the sub on top. They don't fit on the subs on the side.
No, because
Four,
the 25th figures were that much taller than the
they
vintage
sort of
stuff.
fit on the jet ski things, but the like side jet ski things, but yeah, they don't fit anywhere in that vehicle. But
um,
that you will fit in my hammerhead.
I yeah, because about a month ago, I sent Brian a text and I said I took a screenshot that one of the Facebook pages, one of the Star Wars pages, screenshot had a picture of her and said in stock at whatever website. So I texted Brian and I said, now you can make your female decimator custom. To which he responded, oh, I forgot I was even planning that one. But I had it pre-ordered, or I think he said he had the figure pre-ordered, but he went to go buy one since it was in stock on a different website. And he's like, if I'd gotten the pre-order notice or the pre-order ship notice, I wouldn't have had any idea what I was going to do with that. I'm like, because I never know what kind of useless knowledge or really super specific thing that my brain has retained until I put it out there in the universe. And there it was. Um,
Yeah, I pre-ordered Amazon and I actually got it. I'm not I've not had a lot of luck with Amazon pre-orders in the past. Um, and ironically enough, they packed it super well. This was the first Star Wars figure that I got from Amazon that wasn't damaged. And of course, it's one that I was going to open because most of my all the Star Wars figures that I've gotten in the last few years, I just keep them on the cart because I've got a real nice carded Star Wars display in the other room, and the my loose figure collection I have in a Deltoff cabinet, and it's full, so I keep them on the card because that's the best way to display them right now. And I love the card art on most of the Star Wars stuff, so that's the other reason I keep them on the card. But everything that I've gotten from Amazon the past couple years has come damaged. And so the first one that I get that's in pristine condition, and I open it for a custom.
Um, well, I'll be glad to see that custom actually come together.
Yeah, I just need to find a helmet for her. I think I've got an idea of what I want to use. Actually, this is it right here. Because I don't want to use the vintage helmet.
the Joy Toy.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I didn't want to use the vintage helmet. I wanted it like an updated version of it, but I wanted it still like one visor kind of. And I knew I had a helmet that I liked that had like a single piece of glass for a visor, and there it is. So
We um yeah, Decimator had that real distinctive. Anybody who doesn't remember the figure, you'd be forgiven. It was a driver from a 1990 vehicle that was never released elsewhere, and it was one version. They never updated him. So,
I don't even think I don't know if I have one.
Decimator, I bet you do.
That
I
I
bet you do. When you were when you were on that um when you were doing that Don Quixote quest to get all the vintage Cobras, I want to say I think you did get that one,
I'm gonna have to look.
but
I don't know.
um,
I
he's
know
got a
I
really
know I
cool,
don't have a
distinctive
gun for it.
helmet where it looks like the front of it, the visor is scope, so it looks like a hammerhead shark, and it's really cool. But it is it's big, it is clunky, and honestly, even if you did want to use it,
I think it'd be out of
some of
scale.
those, yeah, that some of the vintage part of the charm for the real American Hero toy line for me is I like some of the big heads. But even if they didn't have big heads, but they had removable helmets, that means the helmet had to be big. So
A real soft.
Decimator's helmet is pretty big. Um,
Oh man, now I'm trying to think of. I know I don't have a gun for him. I know I don't have the gun, but I don't remember getting one though.
Maybe not. I'm just guessing.
Bother me.
You got a lot of Cobras last year.
No,
Um, but yeah, I agree with the choice to go updated with the helmet. Anyways, yeah, don't why reuse something if you really don't have to when you can update it and make it recognizable, but also make it distinctive.
yeah, and that's a hard piece to get too. The helmet and the gun are very expensive. I've seen that gun go for like $70 on its own. No,
Yeah, you
I
could
have
get
one. I don't have the gun for it.
you could get the figure and his helmet on eBay for cheaper than you could buy the gun by itself. Um, and if the figure has the gun, double the price of the figure. Um, um, it's a great figure that I've never owned, but I had a friend who did have one, so I took a liking to it. But I never had a hammerhead, so
Yeah,
but yeah, Decimator was a sweet figure. So I
yes,
like seeing Decimator customs, and I like updates like this even better.
yeah, that's gonna bother me now.
Whoops.
Oh well. Yeah, I don't know. I because I've normally when I do a custom like that, um I'll pull the figure out of my collection and set it on my workspace to have as a like a visual reference and a paint reference.
Ah, oh, maybe you don't have it then.
But I yet not in here. But I haven't started painting it yet either. So
I'm gonna guess after we finish recording, Brian's gonna go look for it, and if he finds it, he's gonna get a picture of it. He's gonna send it to me, and he's gonna drop it into this podcast.
yeah,
Um, but but yeah, Yeah, I'll let Brian go because I know they're going to eat dinner. I had a real hankering to do an episode and just,
Put something out.
yeah, and just have a nerd conversation. I think we succeeded.
I think it's time we do another custom challenge too.
Oh, damn it, I knew that was going to come up again. Perhaps in the future ish.
I don't think it needs to be anything as complicated. I think just one figure will do. You pick a style and you pick a character. So style, it can be O-ring or a new sculpt or a classified. And then you pick a character either pre-existing or one that didn't get a figure or one that needs an update or
I'm
yeah.
gonna I'm gonna get a Fisher Price Adventure People guy and repaint that. Maybe the construction worker.
Get toll booth out of that.
Um, or hardtop. Geez, G.I. Joe even had the construction guys. Um,
I think a Fisher Price toll booth would be pretty cool, actually.
I think I've given him an idea that I was making a joke about.
Yeah, see, that's the thing, man. It's like that's not a bad idea because that's to me is one of my favorite things to do is take a shitty figure and make a decent custom out of it.
Lord knows you've done that a few times. A lot more than a few times. Oh, before I forget, I don't like Bazooka, but I like this figure. Hasbro needs to make a classified Alpine immediately.
I would be all over a classified Alpine.
Bazooka looks so good. I'm like, he needs Alpine, and Alpine will be an even better figure than Bazooka is. So if one of our 16 listeners can go ahead and put that bug in Hasbro's ear for me, I'd appreciate it. Thanks.
I'm gonna say Ryan needs to do that. He's our resident classified expert.
I think he does, and he knows people who know people. Um,
And Ryan watches the show, so
Brian does watch the show. He's
really,
one of our very loyal 16, and I appreciate him to no end.
absolutely. He's our resident classified expert. I would I would put it to him to do. But Alpine was I had a list of probably like 10 of favorite Joes, and Alpine and Ricondo are both on that list. And again, I'm still not the biggest fan of classified stuff, but when they put out one of the figures that's on my favorite list, I have a real hard time passing it up.
Um, and I really think a classified Alpine would be phenomenal. But all right. Thanks everybody for listening. Um, yeah, we got to do this again soon. I've had a hankering like I've missed it. So
Yeah, it seems like we go in spurts, man. It goes for a while and then we stop because one of us gets busy and I've been busy trying to get all my recertification stuff done because I got to recert next month, and then but yeah, once that's done, yeah, I don't have a lot on my plate then. So we were talked about getting Jimbo on the show. I'd still like to see if I could get Stuntman Fred on. I still want to talk to him because he is just an amazing customizer, amazing paintwork. Just talking about some of the like new toys that are coming out, some of the new movies. I mean, I finally saw the second Black Panther and the new Wasp movie, new Ant-Man Wasp movies out. I haven't seen that yet.
I haven't seen it.
I've heard it's pretty good. One of the guys at work has already seen it and said it was decent.
Yeah, I've heard lots of good things, but I don't know if I'm going to get around to seeing it. And even if I don't, it'll be on Disney Plus in 2 months anyway. So
That's the
um,
thing. AMC is starting to charge premium prices for seating now. And that's one of the reasons we didn't go to Black Panthers is the price of the tickets was just stupid. I mean, it's going to be just $40 just for tickets, just for the two of us. And my wife's like, I don't want to see it that bad. I'm like, I don't want to see it that bad either. Plus,
I don't want to see any movie that bad. Um,
and now they're going to charge premium prices for the good seating, and it's like you're going to charge more.
Wait, they're gonna have different prices for different seats, like a concert, like balcony seats, and that is stupid.
They're rolling
That
it out
is
in three.
stupid.
If I remember right, they're rolling it out in three major cities, and then it's supposed to go maybe nationwide in 6 months or something like that.
That's a horrible idea.
It's after COVID just about killed movies in theaters, and they're going to do this. And yeah, especially for stuff that it's like, yeah, I'll just stay home and watch it on Disney Plus. I mean, there's some movies that I have to see in the theater. I gotta see that in the theater, but there's just as many that I want to see that, you know what, I'll wait till it's on a streaming service.
Black Panther Wakanda Forever was the last movie I saw in the theater. And before that, I want to say I think it was Thor Love and Thunder. Um
I was gonna say Thor Love and Thunder or Maverick, Top Gun.
and that was the movie that I saw before Thor Love and Thunder. That's it. I was only at the theater 3 times last year. I think.
We went.
Um no, I take that back. In June we went and saw Jurassic Park Dominion or Jurassic World Dominion. Um but yeah, it's really got to be like a tentpole franchise release for me. Otherwise, I'm not going to find the time. And even in this case, in February, the weather is finicky as all hell. The few nights that I could have gone to see it, all but one of those nights, the weather was shit. So, I couldn't. But anyways, yeah, we'll be back in the near future with another
Yeah,
rep.
absolutely. So as always, thanks for watching. Please do that fun social media stuff. Like, share, subscribe, comment below. Give us some topics on stuff that you'd like to see on the show. If you got a customizer that you're fond of, throw the name in the comments. Let us know. If you want to be on the show yourself, let us know. And I do try and get back to everybody on the comments. JD does every once in a while, catch up on the ones that I miss. But we try and get back to everybody that leaves comments, and it's greatly appreciated. So thanks for watching, and stay tuned because we'll definitely have more content on the channel.